respect from yourself. So you don't have to pressure yourself too much. But that does not mean you have to relax if you're below average, if you're not doing fine. It simply means you have to step up your game. You have to go for more tutorials. Stretch, like I said, stretch yourself. Don't pressure yourself. When you pressure yourself, you're giving yourself toxic push. But when you stretch yourself, it's a positive push. So stretch yourself, don't pressure yourself. Right. Another thing is you need to be yourself. Yes, okay. It's all started from WAEC, because before WAEC, my other sister always tell me, oh, when you make the mistake in your WAEC, that's how it's going to be. So start blasting from WAEC. So when I wrote my WAEC, my first results came out. It was awesome, except math. And I was like, can I go to school without math? They said no. So that was when I started working on myself. So when I wrote GC, I had one sitting, like I made it once, and I was like, okay, I know if I put my mind to some things, I'll do better. So I was myself. When it got to the point where I had to write JAM, persons were like, oh, let's go for tutorials. Persons were like, oh, let's go to success points, Gorilla Brains, hot this one, that one. And deep down, I just knew that if I should go for any tutorial, I would fail because I won't concentrate. So I told them, I'm not going. They were like, oh, you're going to fail JAM. We'll see you as a junior in school the next year. I was like, okay, no problem. So I read for JAM myself at home. And it was awesome for me because I did well. And had it had gone for lessons, I would have failed. So you don't have to move with the crowd. If everybody is going to Gorilla Brains, and going to Gorilla Brains would bring you down, don't waste your time. Read at home. If persons are reading at home, you're admiring them, and if you read at home, you're not going to do fine, then don't read at home, go for lessons. It's as simple as that. Be yourself. Because if you start from JAM, when you get to school, you discover that, oh, that's the same person that you are. In school, I noticed that I don't work fine with groups. Whenever I'm going for group reading, I end up gisting throughout. So I stopped. I was just reading alone. People say they're like, oh, why do you like staying alone? I'm like, I just like it. It was at the end of 100 level when they started seeing results. They were like, okay, now we know why she likes staying alone. But there are some points I know I can't do this myself. I need other persons. Then I reach out for help. So you cannot underrate the place of mentorship, communication, friendship. Most times you don't have materials. Your friends are connected to lecturers. They have materials. They're connected to these JAM officials. They have materials. Reach out to them. There is no problem with that. All right. Moving on. Yes, be disciplined. You have to be very, very disciplined. You can attend as many webinars as there is on earth and take as many points as you can. If you don't push yourself to the work, if you don't walk the talk, walk the talk, everything you have to do. If you don't do it, it's like you're moving in circles, you're chasing shadows. So by the time you take this point, you take that point, do well to be disciplined. For me, it will always be long-term consistency over short-term intensity. Over and over again, long-term consistency is better than short-term intensity. In school, I was a Red Cross member. You see people coming to health center, they start rushing people to the clinic, a week to exam. Why? Because they're trying to accumulate so many things within that short period.
Crash programs.
And at the end of the day, they say, oh, students, we don't have time. We do have time. So it should be the long-term consistency, not the short-term intensity. You don't have to rush yourself. JAM is just 4 subject combination. It's not like WAEC. It's just 4. Take your time, start before you finish. Okay, there's something I would like to tell you guys. There's what we call the power of frequency. The first time you get to look at a material, it appears very, very difficult. But trust me, if you go through that material, second, third, fourth, fifth, it becomes very, very easy. And then it gets to a point you can actually picture where things are in a particular page. Who said this? Who is doing this? Naturally comes to you because you've gone over that topic over and over again. So just be consistent. Take your time. All right. Stay positive. You can't be reading for JAM and you're scared of failing. No, please stay positive. Always have a positive outlook. If you're preparing for 210, be positive you get 220. Just always stay positive. It helps all the time. And okay, I guess I'm done. All right. Yes, have faith. I accept what you're saying. When I went for my JAM that day, I left my JAM printout at home, only for me to get to my center and I discovered I can't write because I was not in my JAM center. So they had to send some people home. And I was in Ajegule. My center was in Oshodi. From Ajegule to Oshodi was like, with traffic and everything, that's like 5 hours journey and everything. I don't know if you know Oshodi. So I was telling the man, oh guy, I can't do this, I can't go back. Let me just do this exam and go. The man was adamant. Like I just had to pray in my mind, like, God, please help me. I can't come back. 1 year is too much. And I think 30 minutes to the exam, the man just called every one of us. Some persons left already out of impatience. They left. So he just called us. Okay, you can come write your exams. So you need to have faith. Sometimes you don't do well. Sometimes you do well and the computer mess you up. What do you do? But when you see your results, you'll be like, my center, people are complaining. No, my result is good. It's because you prayed, and miraculously, like I said, our name works for us. Miraculously, God just do it for you, and you're favored. So always have faith. Always have faith. All right. In conclusion, let me just end with 3 questions. Number 1, how bad do you want to be successful? Everybody wants to make jam. Everybody wants to blast. Everybody wants to be the best in jam. Well, how bad do you want it? How bad you want it will determine how well you get it. And then secondly, who do you owe it to be successful? I remembered my elder sister was a year ahead of me. So my parents and siblings were focusing on my elder sister. And I knew the only way I had to move forward was to prove myself. So I owe it to myself to be successful. I was working, I was reading for JAM, I was working, I was reading for GC, I was working, I read for UTME. It was just WAEC, I didn't work and read simultaneously. So I knew I owe it to myself. I owe it to my wages, my salary, my sleepless nights and everything, just to blast JAM and then blast UTME, gain my admission. So who do you owe it to be successful? Lastly, see the end from the beginning. I will always remember seeing Uniben while preparing for JAM. Like, I've heard of basement, I heard of hall 2, hall 1, Ekosodin. I was like, okay, one day I have to be in Ekosodin. So I'll picture myself in Ekosodin, picture myself in the basement. I'm here to write JAM, but I'm already seeing Uniben. I asked my sister, okay, what's the street of Ekosodin like? I will be coming, this and that. She'll be like, you want too much. So just see the end from the beginning. I guess from there you can take it there. I remain favor. Like I said, I'm not the overly brilliant type of person. I was once an average student. I had to go the extra mile because I realized that the extra mile is always scanty. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much. That was very impactful. I'm very grateful for that. And I know that you're grateful for that also.